untenable.
The views and opinions expressed on the radio program by the guests, advertisers, news bulletins, call-in listeners or chatters are solely the views and opinions of the source who express them. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions and the views of Trustco Group International, the broadcast regulators in Namibia, or that of the Informante radio station. This is Informante Radio, the sound for a new age.
If I don't drink beer, I cannot talk to nobody. Yeah. 'Cause beer never breaks my heart. Beer is very nice. Beer never breaks my heart.
Well, that's nobody but Tate Buti on the morning mix here at Informante Live with nobody but the very famous Maria Ileka and also Mitch. Good morning.
I like that you know that I'm famous.
I know you are famous.
Did you check how his tone went down when he had to say my name?
I didn't. Come on.
Very famous and also
Okay, they're also
Mitch.
very famous Mitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yet man.
I got Kondwana tickets because I'm famous. What did you get?
Come on, you. How many did you get? Come, prat.
I mean the first time when he was in the studio. He got tickets.
So can you share the tickets?
No, they already expired.
Oh, Kietman.
I'm sure I'm never getting tickets again because they expired.
So
You didn't go.
You didn't go. Come on, man.
Who does that, Maria?
I didn't go. I don't know, it was COVID, you know.
There are people out there that wanted those tickets.
I know, I was going through it.
Oh, okay.
I was going through it, so no excuse, but
All right. But at least we appreciate your honesty.
I
Very
tried
honest.
to be.
So, the question that I have is Tate Neville is not here today.
Yes.
And I'm anchoring in his position. To our viewers and listeners out there, I'm very honored to be anchoring the morning mix. Wow. And you guys are honored also saying absolutely nothing at this point in time.
Welcome.
Thank you. By a
Welcome.
donkey.
Welcome.
By a donkey. Okay, so let's just jump away with the news.
Informante News. Informante News. Firm but fair.
This is Informante Live, and these are our top stories. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Public Accounts has chastised the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs for withholding financial information after military equipment to the tune of $506 million was allegedly purchased. The ministry was further accused of denying access to the Auditor General's office to audit the ministry's key performance indexes through which the equipment was reportedly acquired. The chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Dudu Morora, said that the PAC, in conjunction with the Auditor General's office, gathers information on how taxpayers' funds are spent and extensively queried the ministry's officials on the Auditor General's audit report on the Ministry of Defence, where a number of red flags were raised. Also, the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs officials were yesterday queried about payments to the tune of 278,720 Namibia dollars made to a non-existent defence attaché in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The payments were flagged in the Auditor General's 2019-2020 audit report, in which the Auditor General gave the Ministry a disclaimer audit opinion in which his office is distancing itself from the Ministry's financials due to denied access to some reports. Ministry officials were questioned by the Public Accounts Committee on Foreign Bank Accounts of the Ministry and asked to give an explanation on why a payment was made to a ghost attaché, as well as how far investigations into the matter are. And finally, the Ministry of Health and Social Services has announced 11 new COVID-19 cases from 1,938 test samples over the last 24 hours, reporting in a cycle which represents a 0.6% positivity ratio. Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, has called for calm amidst news of the new Omicron variant, adding that learning about new variants of the coronavirus should not cause panic and unnecessary fear. Shangula said of the confirmed cases, one is a learner and one is a healthcare worker. In addition, the country recorded 3 new recoveries, with 2 from the Karas region and 1 from the Oshana region. The number of active cases is 123, including 11 hospitalized and 1 in the intensive care units. Your Trustco share price today, the 1st of December, is $1.79. Also taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 16 Namibia dollars and 20 cents, against the euro at 18 Namibia dollars and 30 cents, and against the British pound at 21 Namibia dollars and 50 cents. This is Informante Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informante.web.na.
Why were you looking at me?
18 Namibia dollars and 30 cents against the euro.
It's very expensive. I remember a time when it was like 13
Yes.
years ago.
Yes. But that was. Have you noticed these financial indicators? They're just going up and up and up and up and up. Nothing is coming in favor of the Namibian dollar, is it?
If the rand can strengthen a little bit, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
But we won't, like, if the borders are closed and our economy like sinks, bro, it will just become worse and worse and worse.
Okay. That's sad. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, you're not planning on going anywhere anyway, right?
Not at the age of 52. I'll rather stay in Namibia.
Yeah, then I think you don't have a problem.
Because we've got 2 real luxuries here in this country. Time and space.
And corruption.
And corruption. And the Ministry of Defence
Yes.
that is now
That's
got
what-
ghost attachés
Yeah.
in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you were quite perturbed when the budget came up, remember?
Yeah.
That the Ministry of Defence got so much money.
Yeah, I got the second highest. I think after health.
Health.
I mean, after health, it got the second highest, and then education. I stand corrected, but I think that's what it was.
Yes.
But here's the thing: they like to hide a lot of their activities under the veil of this defense secrecy, like national secrets.
Right.
We cannot let you know what weapons we're buying. These are all states, and they use that blanket
Yes.
to actually,
Move money
move
around.
money, underhanded deals. I mean, the former defense minister had to resign because of
Right.
allegations that were leveled against him. But my question is, what does the ACC do? Right?
Aha.
Because this is why this is where then I say they're a toothless watchdog, because what do they do? So all these allegations, and I mean, it's been coming on for years.
Right.
From defense, where just money can't be accounted for. Money's ending up in personal bank accounts. With the former defense minister, we found apparently some account in, was it Hong Kong or some Asian account, where he couldn't explain where those funds were coming from.
Yes.
And so forth and so. But does the ACC really look into it? And even the Auditor General says, when we ask to look at the books, we're not asking to see what model of guns you've bought and whatever. We understand that that's none of our business.
Right.
We just want you to account for every cent paid, and of taxpayers' money. And
Yes.
they can never do that.
So-
So again, what is going to come of this ministry and the heads that are approving it and the people that are using this as a get-rich-quick scheme?
Thank you.
what is going to happen to those people?
Because the two main stories in the news today are both focused on the Ministry of Defense, and here it comes. It comes from the Auditor General that is basically questioning these two aspects. The one is 506 million Namibia dollars that was allegedly purchasing military equipment.
Yep.
So, what equipment is it? And for what do we need it?
Are we at war?
And who did we buy it from? Is it from China?
Yep.
Those are all the questions that are raising these red flags.
Absolutely.
And then secondly, I know this might not be so much money, only 278,000 Namibia dollars, that gets paid to a ghost attaché in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
It's nothing, but when you look at it, it's a lot.
Of course.
It's one person's money. Just little spare change.
Just throw it into the
So that-
Republic of the Congo, and everybody will forget about it. And the taxpayer is basically not informed, and also, basically.
So it goes.
So it goes. Well done to the Ministry of Defense. Okay, let's have a quick look at the
Go.
coronavirus cases. 129,187 have been registered. Deaths at 3,573. Let's just look at the figures that really matter. Currently, we've got 127 infected, 127 currently infected coronavirus cases. The daily new from the Ministry of Health that has been reported is 11, but on the Worldometer's webpage, it's not updated. It said 0. So we'll go out from the Ministry of Health that there are 11 new cases with no deaths yesterday.
Yeah, I think where COVID is concerned, like, I think one of the concerning news that came in yesterday was that Japan's first case of the Omicron was a Namibian. He had traveled from Japan to Namibia and Namibia back to Japan, and obviously an airport on the outskirts of Tokyo.
Okay.
They obviously tested him because he was coming from a southern African country, and he tested positive for Omicron. So that's the first case registered in Japan, and it happens to be a Namibian. So this doesn't help our case much, because if you recall, we've been complaining that we are being kind of unfairly punished for being a neighbor to South Africa, but South Africa is also unfairly being punished
by finding
being the first to find this variant. So, but now, I mean, even the case in the Czech Republic, it's a 60-year-old woman who had recently traveled to Namibia. We don't know. I mean, she returned, I think, via Joburg. So we can't really necessarily say it's from Namibia, but it doesn't help that her travels were in Namibia.
Yeah.
But I think you would need a PCR test to travel back, and it would have to be negative, right?
That is also what I've been asking, or what I was thinking.
So, I mean,
about.
she left here with, I'm assuming, a negative PCR test.
Yes. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves now in Japan.
Yeah.
So how does that all work?
No, but this is the Czech. I'm talking about the Czech, the 60-year-old.
Okay,
but even the Namibian.
Yes.
Even the Namibian, it would apply. That travel to Japan. You would have to leave Namibia with a negative PCR test. All right? So you left Namibian border with a negative. That has to be, by the way, no older than 72 hours.
Yes.
Unless you went to go get tested, and within the 72 hours you went to get infected. That's a possibility.
Well, it is. Absolutely. What happens if the person got infected on board? Because this person, let's say, flew to South Africa, either in transit or had to board another plane. So in other words, you are basically sitting in transit maybe for 2-3 hours. You use the bathrooms, the washrooms, the restaurant, all that. And from there on, you go on and you travel. And eventually when you land in Japan, you now register positive in terms of this virus.
Exactly.
And then all the shift gets shifted back to Namibia.
Exactly.
So this person could actually possibly be infected somewhere else.
I think it's the most likely. It's the most likelihood, because, like I said, when you leave Namibia, you have a negative. You need to leave with a negative PCR test.
Right.
So that's what you're left with.
Yes.
And then you get to the other side, and now you're positive. I'm just thinking, and this is a fast spreading, so it's not necessarily more deadly, but the Omicron variant is like fast spreading. So I mean, I start thinking there's only two ways to get to Japan from Namibia. You either go through Addis Ababa, or you go through Joburg.
Okay.
There is no direct flight, and I mean, I don't think we fly directly to Doha anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the Doha
Qatar is no longer
flying with us.
So you can either fly with Ethiopian Airways to Addis Ababa, or one of the other flights to Joburg and then connect. You'd have to connect in Joburg, or so I don't know which.
Okay, so it's the Omicron virus, which was
variant.
Variant, with all its mutations, which was found in South Africa. So if this person had traveled to Johannesburg.
But that's just airport. That's just a transit. It's a transit point. So I'm saying I don't. It's very difficult to say where this person got it. Likewise with the Czech Republic woman that was here, it's very difficult to say where she got it from.
Let's talk about the transit points a little bit. Aren't these transit points just a huge risk? Because when you are in transit, there are so many other people from other destinations flying to other places that all end up in transit.
Yeah, but that's why you keep your mask on. Like I've been at the airports, and I think the airports is the one place that they're very strict with the mask wearing.
Right.
I mean, unless you're eating, there's absolutely no way that you're walking around without a mask.
Yeah.
All right. But you're very correct. It's a bunch of people from different parts of the country. I think the idea is just everybody's there has a negative test. So
now what happens is in the transit areas, in the bathrooms and the toilets, if everybody's so extremely strict on wearing the mask, everybody ultimately ends up in the toilet taking the mask off to try and get a breather. And trying to get, so when the doors are locked and everything, everybody takes masks off and so further, touches everything. I mean, the toilet handle and the toilet paper holder and you name it, and the toilet seats, and eventually also the doorknob. So, wow.
You know what? I think about it differently.
Okay.
I actually think airports are the safest place.
Okay. Convince me.
Okay, everybody that travels has to produce a negative PCR test. Everybody that travels needs to produce a PCR test. So you could have gotten it, like I said, it has to be 72 hours. So you could have gotten it, in the last 48 hours, maybe after you got tested.
Right.
But effectively, I mean, the likelihood is very low, right? So everybody that's in there has been tested. They should know whether they are negative or positive. In most cases, you would have to be negative to travel. You can't travel when you're positive, right? That I think is safer than me going into Pick and Pay, where nobody's gotten tested.
Yes.
People are grocery, you put this thing, you touch it and you sneeze and you put back the Oros. I don't want this Oros, I want the blue one. No, the milk, it's too expensive, and I put it in my trolley and we're all rubbing.
Yes.
And in bathrooms, in airports, they're sanitizing by the hour. It's like a regulation. So you have somebody that's cleaning the toilets every hour.
Is it everybody that travels have to have a negative? Right?
Yes.
What about the people that actually are from that country that works at the airport? Do they also need to have a negative?
No, of course they don't have to, but they have to keep their mask on. And they have to go through the security of, you have to sanitize regularly, you have to wear your mask. If you come to the counter, but those people are not walking around, the people that are working at the airport.
So the travelers have to have a 72-hour pass, but the workers at the airport don't have
They don't have to. Yes. So unless they're bringing it in, but I think...
unless they are bringing it in.
Escalators. No. They use the same bathrooms, the same lifts.
They don't use the same bathrooms. The
The
workers at the airport.
Oh, do they have their own special bathrooms? We need to find out where those bathrooms are.
But I think going through an airport, like I said, it's a security check. You have to keep your mask on and do the necessary things and whatever. Because I think they're more scared of the tourists than the tourists are scared of them. Because imagine they're coming in contact with all these tourists on a daily.
Yes.
It's like a frontline worker, right?
Hell no.
It's a difficult job.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's how I see it. I'm not saying I'm correct. It's just my logic.
I agree with you, like to compare the airport with shopping center, like Pick and Pay or where everybody's just there. Some of us I got like something struck me very well yesterday. I was driving and I saw all the street kids were like having their mask on, and he's standing alone. But you'll find 3-4 guys. They don't have their mask on, but they're just standing together. See, so I say comparing it to the airport, I agree with you. If you're comparing it to a shopping center, but I don't think it's just 100% like you said it, because, and I understand you saying it's your logic.
The other thing, Mitch, is you've got to remember the mask has not got one function. It's got two functions.
Yeah, protect yourself and
One
protect
is
others.
you breathing out, but the other one is you touching something, putting it directly into your mouth.
Yeah.
So I've always been wondering, these people, and I thought they, to a large degree, I thought that a special kind of stupid. People sitting in their cars, driving alone
With a mask.
with a mask on. So I sit there and I said to myself, hang on a moment, how stupid can you really be for doing that? And now that I've got this other idea about, hang on a moment, I've just come out of, let's say, a supermarket. I'm keeping my mask on, not because of me breathing out and sitting alone in the car, but perhaps I might have picked something up and I'm trying to prevent from putting it in my mouth.
I saw a woman. She's parked next to me, so I mean I saw her. She came with a trolley, put the things in her bag. She was wearing a mask. Gets into her car, and then she pulls down her mask, takes this pack of, is it like Skittles or whatever?
Okay.
Opens it with her mouth, puts her mask back on, puts sweets on her hand,
Right.
pulls down her mask, tosses the Skittle in her mouth, puts her mask on, starts her car and starts driving. I'm like, lady, like,
Why?
Hello.
why are you still wearing a mask if you are
It is
opening a sweet wrapper with your mouth? You haven't sanitized your hands.
Correct.
You're throwing sweets in your mouth from your hands that you have not sanitized. Yeah, I don't think we really understand the purpose and
And
function.
are
of
the
the
masks
mask.
not only a fashion statement?
I mean, if they were, I would wear mine all the time.
What really
I
always
wear a
got
pink
me,
one.
yeah.
It's a Nambrew chick pink thing.
Yeah, but people were making money off the mask. Like when this whole corona thing started,
People are still
people
making money off the
Yeah,
mask.
they're still doing it. And what really got me when this all started was me forgetting the mask at home. Like, have you ever done that?
Oh, well, hell.
You're already like on
like-
your way to go get a cab, and oh my God, now you have to turn back.
So when I leave the house in the morning, just before I walk literally out the door, I've got the car keys in hand. I've got the gate keys in hand. We've got a ritual where I say, wallet,
Check,
reading glasses,
checked,
and cell phone.
checked.
Right. And then I've got to go mask, warp gun, defense systems, or what else do I have to remember that I'm not allowed to forget?
I think make it easy for yourself. I have masks in every hand because I change handbags quite a bit. I have a mask in every handbag. I have masks in my car,
Yeah.
extra
Yeah.
mask in my car, so I'm always
You waxed.
good. I'm always good.
And that's the way it should be, because I mean, my reading glasses, I've got like 5 or 6 reading glasses. One is next to my bed, one is in the kitchen, one is in the bathroom, one is in this car, one is in that car. Okay, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's the weather like?
Let's have a look at the weather, whether there's weather or no weather. Cooler air is expected in the interior as from Thursday going into the weekend. And in the interior today, sunny and hot in the southwest, elsewhere partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few thunder showers, isolated to scattered thunder showers in the Otjizon-Jupa and Omaheke regions in places. Fresh, strong southwesterly winds in the interior. In the meantime, the coast is partly cloudy and cool to warm, with the maximum temperatures being in the capital Windhoek today, 33, going over to Katima Mulilo, 34. Then in Omuthia, 36, Ondangwa, 37, Oshakati, 37. Archivarongo today, 35, Rehoboth, 35, doing Mariental, where, if I can find Mariental, here it is at 39. So Mariental tends to be the hottest place in Namibia over the last, make it almost a week and a half. Keetmanshoop, Mitch, that's your valley at 34. And then going to Gobabis, 37. So the heat is concentrated just south of Rehoboth, Mariental, but cooler air is expected. Maybe even a couple of drops of rain we can expect.
Neville
that
Basson
bad.
is watching. Basri
Neville Basson is watching. You are looking at the comments of the Informanter site.
Yeah, it's just
I see that
more
Sean
people
Fellas is
saying
also
good
watching.
morning.
Hendrik Scholes is watching.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to have
Morning.
you on the Morning Mix. And you're in the company with Kofi, Mitch, and also Maria. So, Maria, what is currently the topic of discussion for Namibia?
Aren't you anchoring?
No, the topic of discussion seems to be HIV,
Oh, yes.
purely because of the corona, the Omicron variant over the
Yeah.
last couple of days. It effectively started just before the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah.
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 And I've got to be honest with you. I think there are quite a number of people that became concerned over the weekend. Because I've got some friends. They all own businesses. Most of them have got their own businesses working for themselves. And what I tend to have noticed in the discussions coming out is that all these private enterprises saying, "Oh hell, here we go again. Are we going to survive it this time?"
Yeah.
Because we've been through it twice, effectively, over the last 2.5
Yeah.
years. And is this just an ongoing
It's just our new
saga?
reality, yeah. I mean, and I think for those businesses, there's reason to be for concern, because even though our numbers are not necessarily showing that the Omicron is here, I mean, they really aren't. I mean, let's be fair. Our numbers
Yes.
are still really good.
Right.
I think it's how we're being treated. You know, the banning, the restrictions, and whatever. What does trade look like?
Yeah.
And if, I mean, anything that happens in South Africa is a trickle-down effect. It's just a matter of time. If the infection rate in South Africa is spiking, you know, in the next, even though we're good now, you realistically in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I mean, I think let's just prepare ourselves for the inevitable, right?
Okay.
In the 2 to 3 weeks' time, if something is not done, we will probably see similar spike in cases, and that means staff staying home because they're infected. And if this spreads easily, if I have it and I'm sitting in this studio, and at the end of this, we all
No, the
have
chances
it.
are
We all
that,
have
that
it. We all
even
have
if
it.
I have it, I mean,
exactly, then studio closed, right?
Right.
Go home, close down the building, lockdown. I mean, we went into lockdown once for 3 weeks.
yes.
So yeah, like that's money you lose every day that
Right.
your staff's not working.
Let's have a look a little bit before COVID now specifically. Viruses, flu viruses have been, for most part of my life, been there. You know, and I religiously got the flu every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Go to the doctor. Doctor gives me always the same pills, which are basically immune boosters and that kind of stuff. And let's talk about something that I think is quite important, because I saw a documentary not so long ago. It was last week, where a colleague of ours sent us the documentary, and the documentary was in total about water, but in the middle part of the documentary specifically focused on Namibia, Windhoek, us here in the capital, as to how do we manage our water. Because it has happened years before that when I go to the doctor, yeah, he's got a flu, and I say, or a stomach bug, or whatever the case, and he said, yeah, there's something in the water. You probably picked it up from the water.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
so, and I'll forward you guys that documentary. I'll send it on to you. And it's fascinating how Windhoek actually treats its water. Did you know that a quarter of the water we use
Recycle?
is recycled, which is basically shitty water?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay. However, we have got, through our water desalination processes and all that kind of stuff, not desalination, in fact, but through reverse osmosis, water remains water, whether it's gone through the sewage or not. All that happens is H2O remains H2O.
Yeah,
You've
of
got to
course.
just remove all the other things out of it, and you'll
Yeah.
be back at water.
Yeah.
But even, you know, the bottled water that we get through by the,
Aqua,
through
Bon
the
Aqua.
Aqua, and I've got to be
Chubby
honest with you.
Beats.
Thank you so much, Trusco, for giving us this water. It's not a basic need. I understand a basic need, but it's highly appreciated. Windhoek actually has high quality water.
Yeah. I think so.
And I know that a lot of people say, "Oh no, I'll never drink from the tap."
Yeah.
I think it's quite safe to drink from the tap in Windhoek.
And not that. I don't think that's just Windhoek though. I think
The rest,
of the country.
And we've had the cases in the other lying areas, and please, I say this with respect to the Zambezi and also the Kavango, because they're the water that you can't just go, let's say, into the river and drink the water. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're talking about tap water.
we're talking
Like
about
tap
more
water.
Yeah.
But it's
controlled
different. It
waters,
tastes
no?
different.
It all tastes different. Even the one in Sumep tastes different. The one in
Yes.
Stockholm
Yeah.
tastes different.
Yes.
The one in the north tastes different. I mean, growing
Yeah.
up, we were told the water in the north is the best. That's just what
Yes.
we believe.
I grew up in Tsumeb, and
Yeah.
I loved Tsumeb
Yes.
tap water.
Yeah.
But it was also a very hard water.
Yeah, yeah.
No?
Yeah.
But we had this problem,
Mhm.
like in the south, there was this thing. I don't know if it was a myth or so, but the water turned our teeth gold.
Like yellowish.
And they would be like, it's Kietman's water.
Okay.
So
The high
I didn't
alkaline.
know, huh?
Is it high
Probably
alkaline?
Could be high
Alkaline,
alkaline, yeah.
So you'll see, like a lot of people that come from there, the teeth will be a little bit brownish or so, but they should be living there for a long time. For
Right.
real, yeah.
Right.
So I know it's different. It's really different.
So back to the water here in Windhoek. If the water is recycled and all that kind of stuff, even the bottled water that we get through Aqua,
Bon Aqua, yeah.
Bon Aqua and that, do you realize that there's actually there's no feeding value in that water? Everything has been taken out of it. So in the old days, when we were still running around in changalapis and all that kind of stuff, drinking from streams here and streams there, we got the natural minerals out of the
water,
earth
yeah.
from the water. All the minerals that you might need, perhaps your zincs and your magnesiums and all that kind of stuff. So effectively what we are saying, unless you have a very good diet, a very good diet, we basically need to drink the vitamins and all the other stuff
That the
in order to
doctor-
keep our immune systems
System.
up so that we can defend ourselves against this virus.
Point taken.
Ta-da!
Yeah, that's all
Big
from
round
the
of applause.
documentary.
No, that was just the water. I'm taking things out of like different content.
Because I was trying to tie it to the HIV, so I was like, how does
Right.
this tie to the HIV?
Do you drink your supplements?
I
every
do,
day?
I do.
Okay.
My vitamins, because I'm allergic effectively to the fruits that give me a lot of vitamin C. So I do.
Okay. And you, Mitch?
And then for the nails,
Vitamins.
iron.
Vitamins. Do you take a vitamin booster every?
No. I just eat a lot of fruits. No,
Okay.
like oranges and so on, that,
Right.
but not really. Like I actually don't believe in like tablets and all that stuff unless
Right.
it's like really necessary. Even if I have a headache, I would not do it. I'd rather drink water and just go sleep.
Yes. Okay.
Speaking of supplements, so when I went to my dermatologist, I was having a breakout because I got off certain, like I stopped taking hormonal drugs, so I got like outbreak, and I went to my dermatologist, and the first thing she'll ask is like, what's your diet like, and then she will look at like, do you drink a lot of water, do you wear sunscreen, and the last one is, do you take your supplements? At the time I wasn't taking supplements, so I was like,
Supplement.
no. And
Right.
like her jaw dropped she was like, you don't take
Supplements?
supplements. And I think it's from there that, she advised me and whatever, and I went to, obviously I like to read up on my own, and I realized like my community, I can only speak for the black community, right? Like my community specifically, we don't really do supplements, but they are so important because you cannot get all your nutrition from food.
Right.
You cannot get all your iron, your vitamin C, all this other stuff. That's why a lot of people have deficiencies.
Yes.
So you see it, and like we do have this notion, pills, but they are so important. So if you have medical aid,
Yes.
it always helps. If you don't, maybe save up a little bit, go see a nutritionist.
Right.
They will tell you what is lacking in your body. It might explain why your hair is breaking, why you're going bald, why your nails don't grow, why
Yep.
your teeth are yellow. All these things, why certain parts of your body, why you're getting certain things on your skin, why your skin is dry and cracky, and all of these things is like vitamins and nutritions in the body that we're lacking. So if you have medical aid, go see a nutritionist. You can thank me
Just
later.
to keep the balances up as
Find
well.
the
Yeah, I understand, but they like I always check these guys most like that smoke weed and what they always talk about. They'll go natural or what. Like, are they not like natural remedies?
They are
then
natural.
Yeah.
No, it's called, what is it called?
The pills we're talking
Homeopathic.
about,
Homeopathic stuff.
they're natural.
Yeah. Yes. I'll
The
give you an example.
supplements we're
Mitch.
talking about are natural.
When you
Yeah.
become a little bit more of age, like your coffee at the age of 52, you know, I wake up in the middle of the night from cramps in my legs. Okay, and it is a magnesium deficiency. So I went to the doctor. I said, "Listen, I'm waking up literally from cramps in my legs." He said, "Okay, all right, let's try this." Gave me magnesium pills, slow releasing magnesium pills, and since I've been taking them religiously every day, the cramps are actually gone. So that's just magnesium. Let's talk about the bones.
Yes,
Calcium.
Calcium.
You know, then all your vitamins. Okay, you get it through your fruit and all that. The vitamins keep the immune system up so that you don't get this virus. And that's why I think eating, drinking, water, of course, you know, all of that needs to be kept in mind in order to prepare yourself for the Omicron virus.
Coffee. You
Yep.
should just know that us, like, the reason probably that I don't believe in like pills and what, and when I'm saying pills, anything that is manufactured that's not natural for me.
Okay,
It should be something organic.
right.
You see, so I think like you get vitamins from your vitamin booster.
Yes.
I know I can just eat an orange.
Okay.
You see, so I'm not saying that it's just that I will get it probably if
Yes.
I'm like really in need of it and I can't have access to an orange
Right.
anytime soon, and I can just use the booster on the road or so. But it's just a thing of us. It's like, or let me not say us. It's like because probably religiously, we will just be told like, no, I'll pray on it. Or
Okay.
go to your priest. Let your priest pray for you if you have like this and what and what.
Right.
So therefore, a lot of people also died because of that type of stuff.
Right. Right. Okay, Mitch, you can move closer. Maria is leaving the studio. She needs to attend to something very urgently, but Mitch and myself will
So
keep you guys.
a lot of people would rather be
updated.
like, we are very religious people. You should
Right.
know that. So we would go to a guy that comes from probably Nigeria,
Okay.
which is a prophet, and you have cancer.
Okay.
And the prophet tells you, hey, don't take those pills.
Right. Rather come to me.
Come to me. Don't, you know, there are people that will really believe in that and do it.
Right.
So it just comes from a whole, like it's a whole nother background of us. It's like, pills.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we've had a couple of these prophets that
Yeah.
come around and then they, you know, get people in wheelchairs to walk, and then eventually it goes all hallelujah stuff and all that, and the person still can't walk, and the service is finished and you've paid him $1,000 or something like that. So here comes the question is, from a scientific point of view, you did mention that you try to stay away from scientific medicines or anything
Yeah.
that is there any specific reason for that? That you feel that you would like to lean more towards the natural remedies?
Yeah. I would if I knew how to do a lot of the natural remedies. You know,
Okay.
I know some of them, but not all of them. But this is the thing. Scientific remedies always, like medicine, always has a lot of conspiracy theories behind it.
Okay.
You know, we've been told, like, even just, not my side, like just typically coming from my background, you are told that, okay, take the vaccination.
Right.
Take the vaccination. If you take the vaccination, so if you say vaccination to us, it's like, if I take this thing, it means I won't get this virus.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'm being still told, hey, wear your mask. You
Right,
can still
right.
attract. So you weigh like, oh, okay, no, man. I'm not going to really do that. That's the same as me just drinking, keeping up my immune system strong. It's the same.
Right.
So why get the vaccination then?
Okay.
That's the mentality.
That's
yeah.
the mentality. So we've got a couple of comments here. Tyshawn is saying some people are advocating for the vaccine like it would save your life. Just a botch.
Understand?
The vaccinated people are the ones spreading the virus now. Like I always say, don't advocate for things that don't advocate for things that aren't true, he says. Let me just make sure that I get the comments right. Now, people have to be depending on the vaccine, and most of this people had perfect immune systems before. Funny now that the virus can kill you. Yes, I to a large degree, I agree with you. I mean, I did go for the vaccine. It took me a while to convince me, but I did go for the vaccine, and now we are sitting with another variant with different mutations and all that kind of stuff. Do I now need to go for another vaccine and then next year for another vaccine? So yeah, Estimate says, drink your milk and eat your cheese, Kofi. Yeah, I agree.
We black people, just know that if
Right.
you're gonna tell us this car is gonna cost you $250,000,
Okay.
and this car is gonna drive itself, we want that car to drive itself. We don't want to go here about but you need to park it.
Uh-huh.
You need to park it. No, I paid $250 for this car to drive itself.
Right.
That's just us.
Yeah.
So you can still continue.
Okay, so we've got Don J. He says, just in terms of the weather, the south is hot, but the north is nose-bleeding hot. Wow, okay. I thought it was going to, maybe Don J can let us know whether there are any clouds, because we are expecting some rainy conditions over the north of the country. In the meantime, Rovera says, Korigas, the water, he gives you the grills. Yeah, I guess in certain parts of Namibia you get better and worse water. Like, for example, we've been in for example, there are places called brakwater, and the reason for that being is because the water is brackish. You can't drink it. It's too much salt in it and all that kind of stuff.
Muhao Siboli says even undressing completely does not help in those O regions, which is like from the north.
Okay. Yeah. In terms of the weather. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe you need to go and just stand in water or lie in a dam somewhere or stand under a shower or something. Go stand under the sprinkler system or something like that.
Oh, Stephanus James, I would like to point out that when Mitch says we, he speaks for himself.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Okay, yeah, let me put it that way. Okay, I speak for myself, but you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think about this, Kaufi? We recently had this in the Namibian. Puamba refused to give grace period for the evicted family. And these are from the, it's a family which is from a marginalized Namibian community that stayed like 17 years at their farm.
Right.
Yeah, at Guinness Post, I think, yeah. So, and he refused to give them a grace period to be evicted from the farm. And these people stayed there 17 years.
On this farm?
On that farm.
And who refused this grace period?
Our former president, the Fika Puamba.
Okay, okay. So what has happened now? Have they been evicted from the farm? Have they been taken away from that property now or what?
Oh, LPM is like, LPM is actually on the way to the High Court, to Supreme Court.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're out, but I don't know what's going to happen after that. I still haven't had the...
And I can guess these are farm workers.
Yeah, they're farm workers too.
With their families
Yes.
and their children and everything. Do we know the total of people that this is going to affect? How many of these people are being evicted?
No, I don't know if it's a family. Let me quickly just read.
Right. Okay. So
former president.
Okay.
You want to read it?
No. You go right
Former
ahead.
President Hifikepunye Puamba 3 weeks ago turned down the request by the Oshikoto governor Penda Yan Dakolo to provide his office with a grace period of 2 months to find a suitable dwelling for Amanda Karisis and to relocate her and her family. Karisis and her family were evicted from Puamba's farm at Queen's Post. It has to be Post actually, not Post. Over the weekend, Jan Dakolo told Puamba his office has written to the Deputy Minister of the Royal Hey Uto. This one I can like in the division of the marginalized communities in the Ministry of Gender, Equality, Poverty and Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare to urgently relocate the family to Ondera in the Guinness constituency. Yeah, Guinness.
It's Guinness.
Guinness.
Yes, it's Guinness.
Okay, constituency in Oshikoto region. So that's what's happening now. They haven't actually specified how many of
These people
the
are
family members are there.
So isn't there a kind of a rule in terms of farm workers when it comes to farm workers who've been basically dedicating their whole life to the owner of a farm? They are working the farm on a continuous basis, and ultimately they have children, and eventually perhaps they become grandparents, and these children then continue working on that farm. So how is there a specific rule when it comes to farm workers once that they have to be relocated or once they need to go on pension? Aren't they just the people of that land ultimately?
Yeah, they are actually the people of that land. That it will be.
Yeah, but you've got to remember the farm owner, and owners may have changed maybe 2-3 times in the time that these people have been living on the farm. So there are farm owners that have physically purchased that property
yeah.
legally. They're the owners. So I think there's a big divide between those people and some regulation or rule that perhaps needs to be put in place.
And here is where the thought of everything that's legal is not actually right. Because these are from the Bushman community.
Okay, from the San community.
The San community.
Okay.
And these are one of the oldest people of our country.
No, it is the oldest. They are the oldest.
They are the oldest.
They
people.
are the oldest.
So
Not one
this
of
is
the
basically
oldest. They
their
are the
land.
oldest.
This is
Yes.
like basically their land. And I'm just so hyped to see what LPM will do about this. Because
Right.
I just want to ask the viewers, what do you guys think of this eviction? Just a bit of context. Puama refused to give a grace period for the evicted family.
Right.
And this it's not like they don't want to move. They're just saying, give us a grace period to like put our things together. And this is the governor asking the president, our former president, for grace period. And some people are, this is just not, it's just not presidential like.
Right.
Yeah, so you're putting out a whole family.
So what do
that
the
is
comments? What do the comments say? On
we're
all
just
of this?
waiting on them.
Okay.
Vandaag, Tayshawn Michaels. Vandaag word daar niks comments gelees nie. Ek gaan drink maar my bier. Calvin, jy moet die comments
No,
lees.
you've got the
I just
comments
got
in your hand.
Esther Mitch says, don't curse Mitch. Don't curse Mitch. It's because of the name. But
okay.
it's like something. It has to be there because it's, yeah. So, and then we have, then they just having a communication there by themselves. Rihanna Jager, jou comments word nie gelees nie, Tayshawn. Ja, Tayshawn, jou comments sal ons nie lees nie. Kom speel hier so. We have Voshia Alana Green. This is heartless from the former president. And
Right.
why I'm actually covering this is because we have a lot of issues with people evicting people, without even giving them a grace period. And
Yes.
this is just not, even from their own houses, and we are talking about kids that bought their parents' houses, like saying, okay, mom, I know you're old, let me take over the house because I work at F&B, and until you die one day,
Okay.
it's okay, and then I'll just renovate the house and what. And then this kid goes out and gets married.
Right.
Suddenly things doesn't go well in his life, and him and his wife decide, we are gonna go take my parents' house.
Okay.
And the mother is still, or the grandmother is still alive.
Right. Right.
And then they will evict her. And we just had this story, like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had a granny evicted by her own daughter's son
Wow.
that asked her.
So
to sign
basically her
away
grandson.
Her grandson, yeah. That asked her to sign away her house because not really sign it away, but asked her to like
Give it to him.
give it to him so he can take care of it while she is still alive. And him and his wife's thing didn't go well. It was still in I think One Africa. They actually broadcasted there, and he wanted that lady out and because legally he owns the house,
she
had to be put out.
So so we're coming back to that. What you're saying, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right.
And you're putting out your own grandmother.
Right. There's something seriously wrong there.
Really, really, and this happens a lot.
Yes.
This is just one case. Yeah.
The way that the elderly people in this country are being exploited is actually a disgrace to the Namibian public.
Really.
To all of us.
And I think they should bring in some kind of laws that when a younger person wants to purchase a house from their older or elderly family member,
right,
this type of rules has to be stipulated or applied. You know, just to also protect the elderly member, because these people are over 80.
Exactly.
They don't have time to read that whole contract.
And they also don't function normally anymore because they are elderly people.
And these kids, they're doing it. They'll be selling the houses off, and the houses become shebeens.
Yes.
And now the government is there with the story of there are too many shebeens in this location.
Right. Meantime, they're all houses that should have been belonging to elderly people.
Yeah, those were family houses.
And now we take our family house and we just turn it into a bar.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations. Oh,
that's anything you want to cover there?
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. So Walvis Bay. You were in Walvis Bay the other day, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now Walvis Bay this weekend is the place to be, especially in the Kuisepmont Community Hall in the coastal town of Walvis Bay, because the local newspapers are reporting that Namibia's super bantamweight champion Mateus the Beast Heiter will this weekend be fighting for the WBA Pan-African Super Bantamweight title against Zimbabwe's Tinashe Watsiwana. Are you into boxing, Mitch, or not really? Because I know if Neville was here, he'd know exactly what all of this is all about.
I'm not into boxing. Boxing is not for me.
Yes. Okay, so I must say, when I do turn the TV on and it happens to be on boxing, I actually like watching it. It's always a lot of fun to watch boxing. It's very entertaining.
I'm an MMA guy.
MMA.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a total different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
So Heiter, who in October put up a brilliant display to overpower Sheteni and capture the then vacant national super bantamweight title at the Windhoek Country Club, will square off against Zimbabwe's Tinashe Watsiwana for the vacant WBA Pan-African Super Bantamweight title. This is something to watch. The tickets to the event, which will also see many other youngsters in action on that evening, are selling for $20 Namibia for children, $50 for adults, and $200 Namibia at the ringside. You can get these tickets. They are available at web ticket outlets countrywide and at all Pick and Pay stores. This is going to be a fantastic sporting event. So let's see what we'll be talking about on Monday. I wonder if I'm not going to send old Neville a good old little side bet.
Please.
And ask him, ek dink ek gaan dit doen. I'll put $20 on the Namibian guy, on the Beast, and then Neville can take $20 and put it on Zimbabwe's Tinashe Watsiwana. I wonder if Neville is going to like
There's
it.
no black person that will take you up on a bet of $20.
Okay, shall we make it $10?
Is it, no.
Okay, shall we make it, what would it be? $100?
No, now you're negotiating like Indians.
Okay.
You're just coming down. No, it has to be something worthwhile, like 500 or 1,000. That's where we are. Come at 10.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
10. We don't do that. We don't do it.
$500. Who's got $500 this time of the month?
Not
Black Friday was last week.
Yeah, and it didn't look like a Black Friday. What? No stories about Black Friday.
It was just like everybody's having specials throughout the whole month.
And we didn't hear about people that got were crumpled up at game or whatsoever. People fighting over that. We didn't hear anything about Black Friday
except Gondwana.
Oh yeah,
except Gondwana, which was sold out within minutes in terms of the Gondwana accommodation tickets. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Even yesterday, when I went to one of the local malls there in the Kleine Kuppe area, it was rather empty for this time of the month.
Yeah. No, I was moving around freely. like Black Friday, I was moving around freely. There was
Yes.
no people were not in a hurry. Nothing was happening. But there was something nice happening where I was performing. So I was at a gala dinner.
Right?
Guess whose gala dinner?
Don't know.
The fishing companies.
Ah, come on.
So
Fish
they were-
rod.
Yeah, no,
Or the
fishing
legitimate fishing
companies.
companies. Did you make any jokes about corruption and theft and
And that's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing. When you're booked, they will basically tell you, don't go here, don't go here, don't go here.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
and they were actually putting together money
Right.
for the community to better serve the community, and they were also giving out some fishes.
Okay.
They were giving out some fish,
Right.
And it was really funny. And I was so tempted to talk about the whole fish rod case and all that.
Yes.
But I was not gonna be paid my money if I did that. So, but I was tempted. But it was something nice. They trying to change the narrative.
Okay.
The narrative and
Look,
trying to fix what.
I
what's
totally
broken.
agree with it. Fish rod, it is what it is, and it's busy in the processes and all that kind of stuff. But the moment that anybody now says fishing companies, everybody just thinks that's
Fish rod,
one
yeah.
direction.
And that's what they're trying to change the narrative.
From
like I said,
from the stigmation.
yeah. So what they want to do is fix what's broken right now and trying to plow into the community.
Right.
And that was something great. But everybody, when they heard we have a comedian,
Then
then all the MDs,
And
the
everybody
minister,
says, "Hang on a
everybody started everybody just started becoming weird, and it was really awkward and quiet.
really,
And my first joke was actually, don't worry, I'm not going to mention it.
without mentioning it.
Without mentioning it. And they got that pun. And it was like, okay, now we can go on. But I like what they're doing right now. Black Friday was not also Black Friday in the coast. So
Yeah.
I think people know now that they actually been ripped off by these companies or these these places that they have to go buy, because they go, it's Black Friday, this is going to cost you $1.99
Right.
from $2.
You know what I noticed? Even in the Black Friday week, never mind Black Friday, but during the week, the specials that were advertised weren't really specials. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Especially electronic equipment such as
Yeah.
cell phones, laptops, all the electronics and online gooders and stuff. It's as if everybody's waiting. Okay, I can afford that cell phone now. I can really concentrate. They're going to bring the price down. It usually costs $3,000. It'll be on sale for $1,900. I can now go.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
It will be
So-
going for $2,999.
Okay, so we at the Coffee family, although that there are only 2 people staying in the house at the moment, we have a tradition, Mitch. Okay, so what happens is we wait for the last week of December, and over the last years, we've always, my girlfriend and I, we purchased a swimming pool. Yeah, a plastic swimming pool. It's about 50 centimeter high and it's 2 meters wide. So every year we purchase one for about $400, $500, right? And we pump it up and then we fill it with water to cool down in the hot December months. The hot December, January. And, we work also sparingly with our water. Obviously, all our water goes back into the garden or something.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then what happens is we actually enjoy that swimming pool until about February, March. And then we empty it. And then that swimming pool every year goes as a standard present to our house helper, to Marta. Marta has been our house helping person for the last 10 years on end. She's absolutely wonderful and beautiful. So she gets it, and then she takes it to her house.
Almost so Marta is like 10 swimming pools right now.
So Marta, I think, is now going to get the 4th one.
Oh.
So what she then does, she took the first one and she puts it up at her house, and then all the kids can come swim, but they've got to pay $1.
Yeah, that's nice.
$1.
Now you can't swim for free. What is
No.
not for free?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's just breaking even on that. But
Yeah.
then all the kids go and swim at Marta's house. So Marta has now had 1 swimming pool, then 2, 3. So here it comes, back to Black Friday. We are used to buy this swimming pool, and I will not mention the business's name, at our $450, $500 Black Friday special. They're nowhere to be found. And then I did go to the Grove Mall to a very big retail shop there. I won't mention the name or the fact that it has a pink color. But there were these pools at $900. And I said, no, thank you.
The same pools.
That specific one.
Kavi, you need to understand to us, if it's Black Friday, it has to be like 70% off the price there.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be the same price that I will find in Kadutura.
Yeah, but nothing happened, Mitch.
Yeah.
Nothing happened in terms of the prices.
Yeah, and let me just read some comments
Yes,
for you.
please do.
I'll first go for what the Black Friday. Roviera says there were no specials, Omis. We have Estomich. Kaufi, do you decorate for Christmas trees and all?
Yes,
Do you
we
decorate?
are the Christmas tree people at our house.
We will not mention the name of game.
No.
Okay, let's go up. So Roviera says humanity must jump in from Buamba's side, Mara again. My land, my rules. So he can actually do what he wants. I'm guessing they were not paying for staying there. But yeah,
Yeah, but
he must have some sort of remorse towards them.
No, absolutely. You can't just take people and remove them. You can't, if these people have their, what shall I call it, ecosystem, whether they're staying there for free or not, you can't just go and say, okay, off you go, away. Tjoe, tjoe. Hierso van Koenas Post. Weg is julle. Gaan bly daar by Billy of ergens daarso eenkant. You can't do that.
And look here, you have a governor coming in and saying, okay, we will relocate the people. We just want, we want to sort out a place for them. Until then, can you give us a grace period? And you still want to use law on them like it's my land, my rules. You need to move.
Yes.
Legally, I can evict you from my land.
So why doesn't he is a past president. I'm sure that he's still got contacts and connections into the ministries. Why not go to the Ministry of Home Affairs and say, okay, this is the situation. I'm exercising my own personal private right. You, as the government, please do give us solutions here.
He could have done that. And that's why when we were on that topic, Stomich also said, imagine due to dementia, you lose your house to that you work so hard for.
Yes.
From your ungrateful grandchild.
Yes.
It's painful, man.
It's painful, and it's all driven by greed.
It's very painful.
So, Istovich, you are absolutely right on that one. I'm with you. It is the way we look after our elderly people that'll be a true reflection on who we really are in this country.
Roviera, it must be 70% off. Chicken Tura price.
Yeah.
It must be the same price as Tura price.
So it's like making a bet with Neville Basson on the boxing. Instead of $500, it must be 70% off. And me, Kaufi, I'm going to do the calculations, and then Neville is going to have to stand his part. Neville, I know you're listening to me out there. Or to us, you're listening to us. I will back up Mateos the Beast Haita, and you will be putting your money on Zimbabwe's Tamashe Mwatsiwana.
Tishon, Khanman, Tishon. Tishon says, did you notice that the share prices aren't shared anymore?
What, the share prices aren't shared?
He wasn't listening.
No,
he wasn't listening when about the news.
Yeah.
He wasn't listening when you read the news. Do you want to read it?
Yes, I can give it to you again, Tayshaun. I did say in the news that your Trustco share price today, the 1st of December, is at $1.79. Now is the time to buy Trustco shares.
And just that we are here on the Black Friday topic, the viewers, while we're going to continue, what shop, like electronical shop, do you think is the cheapest and good quality and cheapest in Namibia?
Wow.
What? So I want to buy a laptop soon. So I want to know about it.
I think you must just go and shop around, and don't forget the newspapers. They do print these shops, but you quite often find that the device at the one shop is basically the same price at the other one.
Yeah.
So,
It's really, I really want the laptop, but these prices are.
so do you know what is a SSD drive?
No.
Okay, so SSD drive is, in computer terms, especially in laptop terms, is a solid state drive. That is what it stands for, SSD. Okay, so remember the old hard drives? They used to turn in circles and all that. So the new SSD drives, they don't have that mechanism. It's a solid state drive. And what you can do with your laptop, and I've recently done it to two of my laptops, which were starting to age. The one was 6 years old, the other one was 4 years old. You know, as you're using your laptops, have you ever noticed they get slower and slower and slower?
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? Because when you get the laptop, there's basically not so much information on it. And as you start working throughout the years, you put more and more.
Yeah.
So when you then ultimately push the on button for that hard drive to start waking up and work through everything that it has saved on it.
So the hard drive is getting old.
So effectively what happens is your laptop is perhaps now taking a minute or two before you can start working on it just from pushing the button.
The hard drive is aging.
Yes. Now what you can do, and I did this, and believe me, I give you some advice for those of you who've got laptops out there who are starting to become slower and slower. Go and consider putting a solid drive into your laptop. So effectively what happens, they take the other hard drive out, they put a SSD drive in, and when you get the laptop back, all your information, everything is the way it was on the laptop. And then if you press that button on, because it's now a solid state hard drive, it'll literally take you 11 seconds and you can start working on your
Kofi,
Not only this, sorry Mitch, I
Yeah.
just want to finish my story here, is the guy that has done this for me, he said to me, we will probably extend these laptops' lifetime by another 4 to 5 years. So you don't have to just buy yourself a new laptop every 4 to 5 years. Go and replace your hard drive to a SSD drive.
Kofi, I need to have that guy as a friend.
Yes.
And speaking on those prices, Kofi, like, look, this is what I was thinking. Why do the prices remain the same while we have this, like, while we have COVID, there
An
are people
economic
losing downturn? Like, isn't there a way, like, why doesn't our government see and at least make things that we manufacture here cheaper for us?
At some stage, these prices will have to come down because the retail shops are sitting with all these devices and they're not selling them because for the most part of Namibian public, they can't afford them.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of wants and demands, needs and demands, demands and needs. So at some stage, those prices are going to have to come down.
I was really mad that I have to buy bread for $13 right now.
Right.
And if I have to go to a bakery, it's $10. Bread.
Yeah.
And we have COVID. People lost their jobs.
Jobs.
Milk is $25.
That's incredible. Milk has always been a problem in Namibia, to the degree that we have to import it.
What?
Yeah.
We were importing milk.
We were importing milk. Namibia has constantly had issues with milk, with our dairy farms, the what do you call it, the dairies itself, also, you know, milk, getting milk out there and whatnot. We are purchasing literally our own milk from South Africa as we speak.
Where Tayshawn, let me just read one or two comments. Tayshawn says, Mitch, koop toch net the laptop op Facebook, buy and sell.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
No, listen, I don't trust those guys.
Why?
Yeah, because they tell you come where, what, and I know 3 or 4 people that were robbed like that, and they told me it was through that Facebook buy and sell. So what these guys do, the churches now, what they do is they go on there, they put on nice pictures of a laptop or a phone, and then they tell you, okay, let's meet up at Ellerings. Or Evelyn Street.
Right.
And then you come there. Remember, this guy is using a picture of Kofi.
Okay.
But he tells you come at Evelyn Street. And you're like, what will Kofi be doing in Evelyn Street?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then you come there. He's the only one that really knows how you look like, because you are doing this from your own
Profile.
profile, and he's the only one that really knows how he look like. Now you are there just waiting for him at the service. He's just like, I'm coming now. But he's actually just next to you with 3 of his friends. Boom. The guy borrows your things and runs away. Borrows your whole money because you're going to come there with cash.
With the cash.
And he says, "Now come net with the cash. Just come with the cash.
Just come around the corner.
Yeah, Klados net klamak. So I'm not gonna do that. I wanna buy something with warranty, whatever guarantee we're talking about, and I want to be able to go give it back when it breaks. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you need some form of security.
Security,
in terms of, but then you are going to pay your 5, 6, 7, 8,000 Namibia dollars for a laptop.
Like I saw a lot of cheap laptops on buy and sell, but I'm really not gonna choose that route. Like, not even gonna advise somebody to do this.
Right.
Really not gonna advise somebody to do this. As to Mitch, what is it? Roviera says SSD is the Ferrari of drives.
That's a that's Roviera. I'm totally with you, brother.
Roviera, Coffee agree met you for the eerste keer.
Yeah, no, I have agreed with Ro before.
Well,
but he's right, because I've seen it. I've seen it literally in action. These laptops, they are like unbelievable. It's like you've got this old laptop and you say, "Oh, I'm giving up on this thing. I've got to sell it and buy myself a new one." What? We just replaced those hard drives. We changed it into a SSD drive. Problem solved. Next 5 years, we sort it.
You see, now that on the comments they are talking about affirmative repositioning. That's what we call the, like, if the church is like mock you, mock you. So I don't want AR on my stuff.
Isn't that also what our ex-president is doing? If you could put his affirmative repositioning of the farm workers.
It is.
Our president is repositioning the farm workers.
Yeah.
Affirmative repositioning. Ta-da!
On that one. Don't you think those people actually buried their family members?
That's another thing.
We
haven't thought about that. There might be some graves there of ex-family members.
Our president has to, ex-president has to think about this.
Don't worry, we'll be watching the story.
I think he probably wants to build something there and wants that land back, but he really needs to think over it. Coffee, should I still read a little bit of comments while we...
Do tell us what is being said.
Oh, talking about taking care of the elders. Monique Bapos, Coffee, you might not give us the right info regarding the weather, but you are speaking the right info about SSD.
Hey, thank you.
Why is everybody... Why don't I know about SSD?
Guys out there, our viewers and our dear listeners, Mitch, I think, is going to leave the studio when the show is over, and the first thing he's going to go and look for. Here comes the other thing: your old hard drive. If you've replaced it with a SSD, they give you the old hard drive back, and they put it into a special casing for you, and that then becomes your external hard drive and your backup hard drive. You go home, you put it in your safe, and you got all your info stored there.
But how much will this process cost me?
It cost me $2,000 for one per laptop.
Vader van Keetmans. Yeah. You see, that's Tura price.
Yes.
That's Tura price. Now that we call Black Friday.
Yes.
That we call Black Friday.
No, because ultimately all your laptop it's basically just the screen and the keyboard and the couple of RAM things and the motherboard. So just take that one out, put a SSD drive in, and the heavens open up.
Coffee, thank you so much for that information. Coffee, I'm still on the comments, and then we just are back and forth. Right? So, Stephanus James says, "But Mitch, I thought you like being robbed." Like, I'll give you the context of that. So one day I said, I actually always wanted to experience being robbed. That's just like a white guy saying, "I'm gonna go do skydiving."
No, I won't do skydiving.
You didn't do?
Nah.
You didn't do skydiving?
I'm afraid of heights like there's no tomorrow. I'm so afraid of heights. I promise you, even if I were to just see somebody standing on the edge of a table or something like that, I'd go crazy. So I've got, but you're right. Have you ever wanted the experience of being robbed?
Yeah, I wanted
it.
And it happened.
Or kapi knife?
Not just the experience, like all that, like just to go through that experience. And I shared it here. And now Stephanus is like, no, I did. Stephanus, not every time. I would like to get robbed of $200, but not a whole iPhone. Not my laptop and yeah. So I'm not every time, like, it's just something that I wanted to experience, because everybody that came to me, it was like really like, yo, bruh. Toe word ek afgevat in die rivier en toe was die ouens het, was 4 ouens. I never had a story like that. And as a comedian, we're storytellers and everything comes from experience. So I really wanted to experience that. And it happened already, so as I believe. Stephanus James. Lost my 8 as je in die straat sien met my iPhone. Have you ever been robbed?
Yes, I've been robbed in Cape Town.
Cape Town?
Oh. Yeah. But, yeah, it is what it is.
No, I wouldn't want to be robbed that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to be robbed here by a Herero guy, because I know it will be good.
Robbed is one thing. They did take my money, but they gave the wallet back. But I was mugged. I was very young also. I was, I think, 22 years old or 23. But they were quite aggressive, pushed me against the wall and what they, 2 of them. And they just threw my wallet there, took the money, and then they walked off. But yeah, I got mugged. Luckily, they didn't attack me.
Yeah, no, for me, it's been robbed, and I wanted to be robbed by a Herero, because I knew it's the safest robbery that you can ever
From
go
a
through.
Herero?
Yeah,
Why?
Because they'll just be asking you for your stuff.
And that's it?
Here the hemp. And that's it. And you give it.
So who are the worst robbers?
Ooh.
If the Herreros are the best robbers, who are the worst robbers?
Oh, the worst robbers are the Vambus and Damaras. That combination
is deadly.
It's deadly.
Wow.
Those ones will mark you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a profession probably.
Yes.
So Herreros chose robbing, and
so it's pretty much like the fish rod case.
Yeah.
It's like you steal, but you have your dignity. And you go to court in your best suits and all that kind of stuff. Huh?
Coffee. Why did you put it that way?
But it's like when you do something bad, you might as well look good at it.
Oh.
Don't be like the Damaras and the Ovambos that go and like slat jou oor die kop and bloed oral and what.
Heroes, it's just with charisma. It's
wow.
it's
fascinating.
It's like fascinating.
Ooh, Neville Basson. Die Damara Wambu combinatie. Dis mos Neville daai.
Yeah. Neville is eintlik Herero ook.
He's got Herero. Okay, he's got Herero as well. So it's like a full combination.
Like as ek in die field was.
So wat van die Namas? How do they rob?
No, Namas don't rob.
Come on.
Namas don't rob.
Asseblief.
Guys, on the stream, Namas don't rob.
En nee, Noord-Kaap en daardie plekke daar.
Hulle sal dalk 'n huis inbreek. Like they will really do burglary and all that,
Okay.
Yeah, but robbing is very like, I haven't seen a Nama rob somebody or heard of a Nama rob somebody. If you guys on the stream heard of a Nama rob somebody, please let us know.
So what you're actually saying, Mitch, is that the Namas are peaceful people.
They are very peaceful people. They just want the peace of the land. Calvi, ek gaan nog deur die comments. Roviera, Mitch only moeges get robbed. Weer buy and sell. Jy gee nie geld as jy nie die product gesien het nie of getoets het nie. Also, meet at a public place with 6 of your friends.
Right.
Okay. I understand that, and it's good advice, I'm just like going to 6 of your friends and telling them, no, I'm gonna go buy a phone now, and I want all 6 of you to come with. And those guys have to use their own petrol money. Not petrol, but taxi. Pay their own taxi. Oh, you have to pay the taxi. Now that's another expense. And I don't think they will also go with you. So, Roviera Mitch is waar wat Stephanus James Ananias sê, jy raak mos. I can say it as jy Roviera. Tankeni with a capital T. Och, Mitch. Support black business almost lost die goed. Me getting robbed
supporting black business. Black Friday, get robbed on Black Friday.
Tayshawn Michaels, kom ons gaan koop bier, Roviera. They're having their discussions again. Okay, you love this.
Yes.
Kasupi Shindume. Kasupi Shindume says, I think it will be helpful to know what will the SSD conversion cost comparing to the new laptop? Can you please give an insight on?
Okay, look, I think You get entry point laptops. They'll probably go for $3,500 more or less, and then as you go to the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 laptops, then obviously the quality of the laptops is better in terms of the technology. Then you do realize that you get gaming laptops.
Yeah, no, I had a gaming laptop before. I had a gaming laptop
The
before.
gaming laptops, they can go up to 18, 19, 20,000 bucks. But
They're expensive.
they're extremely expensive, but they've got just the best parts of
Yeah.
everything in it.
I'm not gonna spend that much money.
Right.
I'm not gonna spend that much money on it. Let's go to Samuel Makale. This is a very interesting point, Samuel. If Puamba was a white person, then it is discrimination, and then the former president, for that matter, he's supposed to consider humanity, which he even got an award for.
Okay.
He got an award for it. Oh, I didn't
Wow.
know that. Please comment the award's name.
Right.
Is it for and still getting money from that reward?
You're talking about my president.
Your Ifike Punja Puamba.
Say his name.
Ifike Punja Puamba.
No, say his name, really.
Puamba. I just like calling like that. Okay, but they say if it was a white person, it
Right.
would have been discrimination and he's racist and all that.
Okay.
What do you think about?
Yeah, perhaps. That's the card that is always drawn at convenience, I guess. But yeah, I think it's just whether it comes from white people or black people doesn't really matter. It is just the ill treatment of other people. I were to say more from a humoristic point of view, if you move the people off your farm, it's called affirmative repositioning.
I don't really want to laugh on
And
that.
they are
but yeah.
probably then becoming members of the landless people movement, which is terrible. You can't do that. These people have been staying on that land for probably most of their lives. They've had perhaps even their pre-people there, the grandfathers, grandmothers, and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be an interesting point to keep in mind for the next couple of days as to how that whole story is going to develop, because I think most of us Namibians will hope to find that the ex-president is going to do the right thing.
Yeah. Estomich is saying Neville will rob you and give you back your stuff. Real hero. You see? But I didn't get my stuff back. Get my stuff back. Roviera says Namas dance net kwaito. Okay. Tangeni with a capital K. Namas steel net clear van die hangerdraad af.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, the comments. Roviera says the cheapest SSD starts at $1,800.
Okay. Oh, well, more or less two grand. Yeah. Okay. So it's really a very, very good option.
So sorry, this family was given a notice in 2015. And they are only going to relocate on condition that they get land.
Land, yeah.
Okay.
On 2015 and on the condition that they get land, but the thing is, like, they would have like for 17 years with their family.
Like to be honest, like I can't even excuse it, because I think outside of Pohamba, I don't want to make this a Pohamba, because unfortunately Pohamba is guided by this rules that he's not doing anything wrong. On paper.
Okay, yes.
I mean, you buy a farm.
You're the owner.
It's yours. You're the owner. You the previous tenants have to go. This happens.
It's legal.
It's
right.
legal. The problem with it is how it disenfranchises the people.
Yes.
You understand this law that allows, yes, a new farm worker to come in. You need to remember that even though they were living there for 17 years, it was also realistically not their land.
Yeah.
They were staying there as farm workers of the previous owner.
Sure.
So
it's not as if they didn't have the time to start preparing.
yeah. So this is where our policies bite us. No, I don't even want to say this, because you need to remember these are like the poorest of the poor in society. I feel like it should be a policy at some point to make, like, if a farm worker resides at your farm for in excess of 10 years, they should be entitled to a piece of land on the farm. You understand?
Yes.
Put progressive laws in place that make it legal, so that if a new tenant comes in or a new buyer doesn't say to this farm workers,
Hey,
pack your
stand up.
things and go. I've got my own farm workers who are coming here. They need that
Okay, so
accommodation facility.
Wouldn't it be a good idea? Because these are farm workers. These farm workers have learned how to farm.
Yes.
Okay. So why doesn't government go into a area and buy 4 farms next to each other, and that'll become the farm worker retirement land?
Unfortunately for that is a lot of farm workers, they know the methods of farming commercially, but they don't have the means of production.
Okay, I'm sure that we would be able to find funding.
The German
I
government.
think it's just easier to give
Yes,
them
the
the
GIZ.
land.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier to give them the land.
land.
Like I mean,
Yeah, I agree with it.
this land. If you go look at farms,
Okay.
it's tracks and tracks and tracks and tracks of land.
I know.
Sometimes farms going 10 kilometers the one side and 10 kilometers the other.
Exactly.
That's
Here comes the thing. We've just got land. Go
got a lot of land.
Go and stand on top of a building in Windhoek and have a good look around.
yeah.
What do we have?
Land.
We've just got land, but we've got a land problem.
We've got land. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's such a huge
thing.
ask to give farm workers a corner
Yes.
or whatever, a piece of land on those tracts and hectares and hectares and hectares and hectares of land where they can, something that they can then pass on to the next generation. If you want to use their kids also to help you with the farming
Exactly.
and pay them, you can
I mean,
do that.
You've got a farm worker who gave his lifetime,
Yes.
her lifetime,
Just want to explain something for Oviera.
just to
They
die
say,
without
come
land.
on, guys. They got a notice 5 years ago.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. They could have relocated. This is what happens. These people don't hire people that probably have the studies, the documents, of farm work or like the work they're going to do there. They're going to go take a guy from Sleep
Right?
that's drinking there, those bars and what, and bring him to that farm with his whole family and let that guy stay there. And just know at farm work, you don't have anything about, today you are a general worker, tomorrow you are a manager, tomorrow. They don't have structures like that.
Right.
So you are there for 17 years. You don't have pension, you don't have nothing. And after 17 years,
You get told to go.
5 years to relocate.
Like, no, I get what Roy is saying because constitutionally or like legally, Pohamba is protected by the. He's not doing anything illegal. To
I
say I
understand.
bought the farm, they want an extension, but they want an extension on condition you give us another land. It's an unrealistic request because when you get evicted, you don't get evicted and given a house. I'm saying the flaw is in our policies. You understand? The flaw is in our laws, and we need to improve our laws to improve the situation of the people. For somebody who will be like, oh, you guys are being unfair to Pohamba. Well, yes and no. Unfair because yes, he's not doing anything wrong, but also he was a president, so he should have a care for people of this country. You understand?
Right.
And he should have a care for
Do you thi-
homelessness,
that-
and he should have a care for the marginalized.
Don't you find that it's just a hot potato currently in his hand?
Look, let's just remember these people are from the Hatekom community. That's their land, actually, that side.
I mean, I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, but let me just say,
We can
that's their
discuss this
land
thing
there.
to death.
Yeah, we
That's
can
their
discuss
land
this to
there.
death,
I know.
but yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't change anything.
I'm just saying, they are from that side. That's their land there. So them saying to the governor, listen, we want land. If we have to relocate from there, we want land. And the governor standing in and saying, we are trying to find them a proper place to relocate to and just give us the government.
Yes.
Yeah, society has failed these people, the government has failed these people, society, like everybody has failed these people, and not just them, I mean extension of everybody that's going through something like that. Society has failed. I don't even know that the argument of saying it's our land works anymore. I know we keep saying it, but like if you don't have
A justification.
no,
or-
a piece
The
of
paper,
paper that
paper.
says
Exactly.
what do you call
It's
it?
called a title deed.
Yeah, the title
Title
deed. That's
deed.
it. If you don't have a title deed, it's not your land. Unfortunately,
That's
that's this is the laws that govern our country. But yes, I feel like this should not be happening in 2021. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
shouldn't even have been happening in 2015. But
That
anyway.
brings us to the end of the show. We'll leave it there where it is. We'll be back again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, the two of you, and all our listeners and viewers out there.
I'm sorry,
You've
guys,
been
I
a-
had to rush out.
No, you have
Yeah.
things to do.
Apologies, yeah.
So keep safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on Informante Live.
Informante Radio. Only the best music.
You're the one I love. I want and I know. You're the one I want. Real niggas spoil out. I'm a real nigga.
Haven't lost my mind in a while. I want to shake it, shake it. I want to shake.
This is Informante Radio, the sound for a new age.
Oh, Magadona has a farm. He a ho. And on his farm he has a cow. He a ho. Guy samana kopora. Tamba tashiti tambura. Paifo ya kwatwa kenyeme. Shasho tipasa natang. Guy no hokanti no temba. You know I like to get down. Sawadanda kwatwa keterere. Ondari seda nene go tebere. Oti kupeko ko sweet banana. Shashe dinaranjonga mbanga. Okaringa